Today's e-learning topic is Hello World. I Can Code That. A unit of instruction by Amy Newland. Today's agenda. We will begin with an intro to coding. Then we will demonstrate the steps to create a Hello World test code, followed by listing the code for a calculator app. Let's begin by researching the basics on how to code. Four steps to begin to learn how to code. First, identify a coding language. We will begin with JavaScript, then download a text editor. We will use Sublime Text as our editor. Go to the link provided in a web browser, either Google Chrome or Internet Explorer. This is where you will begin to write code for your Hello World application. Next, test your computer to see if you can create the simple Hello World coding activity. The following slides will provide the steps to run the Hello World test demo. Download Sublime Text in your web browser. Type in the following sample string of code. Code is written as label hello world/label. Next, save the file to HTML format. The following slides will provide guidance on these steps. First, create a folder labeled Hello World on the desktop. Then go to Sublime Text and enter the code provided. Continue to file save and make sure to add .html at the end. The screenshot below depicts how to save the file. Make sure to add HTML at the end of the file name and save an HTML file type. Here is the example of the text screen where you will enter in your first piece of code. Enter in label hello world \label. Next, follow the following 4 steps. Go to Hello World file folder and open the Hello World HTML file. Select open in any web browser and the Hello World text should appear. Here is a screenshot example of the Hello World test code. Congratulations! You have successfully entered your first piece of code. Next, we will begin to create a calculator app. Okay, let's now begin to create a basic calculator app using the app language JavaScript and the Sublime Text we just used in the Hello World activity. Follow the steps on the next set of slides to learn how to create the code used to make a calculator application. The 4 steps of code are: first, we will learn the basic input code, then we will create the basic buttons and numbers of the calculator app, followed by functions and helper code. Input box creation. Here is where you will see the numbers you enter in the calculator. In Sublime Text, open a new tab, enter in the following string of code. Following the same principles we learned before, you have a set form code string, followed by a division. Next, we will enter the code that is used to create the calculator buttons and numbers. The string of code is longer, so we will break it up into smaller pieces to better understand. Here is the string of code. In red is the button. In blue is the input operation where the information from the button will go. In quotes are the specific buttons add sub, mult, div. Next are lines of code 13 to 32 that will build off the previous code before. Only now we will enter in all the numbers we want to display on the calc. The numbers are in purple. You have successfully created the basic calculator buttons and numbers. Now we'll need to enter the code so it can compute basic math such as adding and subtracting. First, begin by adding in a global variables function so that our calculator app will work properly. Then the following slides will break down the various button functions. Here is the code for the basic button functions. You must follow the steps in order as the code builds off of each sequence. The final step is a set of helper functions that will aid in the creation of the calculator app working properly. This is complex code that can be researched ahead of time to help. Here is one set of code that is used to help generate the calculator app. Each function will build off the previous functions. Here is the next set of helper function code that is used to help generate the calculator app. Each function will build off the previous functions. Finally, here is the last set of helper function code that is needed to create a basic calculator application. Once all the code is entered in Sublime Text, save and then open the file and the calculator app will appear. You should always test to make sure it works properly.